My dead brother walked into my kitchen at 3 a.m. My brother's been dead a month, so why did my ring show him unlocking my back door at 3:17 a.m. while my parents stacked cash on my counter? Hoodie up, left ankle hitch, the watch he borrowed forever, and my mom whispering hurry like danger had a curfew. The fridge light hit his face, and my stomach did a full system error. We buried an empty casket I paid for. Now the casket had preferences and apparently wanted leftover lo mein. Here's your promise. A fraud implodes, handcuffs click, and I keep the house, the cat, and the toaster that saw too much. But we need the rewind, because nobody wakes at 3:17, feeds a ghost sesame noodles, and goes back to bed. You roll tape, hash the files, and rename a thumb drive banana bread. Rewind with me. Golden child. Hollow casket. And the exact minute grief stopped being sad and started doing math. Loud, petty math with receipts. Golden child. Hollow casket. 3 months before the ring nightmare, Archer took a solo clarity hike. His clarity allegedly came with bad weather, worse reception, and a bloodied backpack rescued by a man named Doug who says buddy like punctuation. No body. Just a ripped strap, a smear the color of hubris, and a ranger note that read, with courage, conditions unfavorable. The funeral was invoices wearing black. Mom cried in scenes, eulogy sniffles, slideshow sobs, buffet tears, and Dad suddenly loved clipboards. They gave me responsible child as a title and slid me the bill. I paid because order calms me, and because Mom said he'd want dignity. Archer would want a free bar and a playlist that slaps, but sure. Archer's montage since the 199s, trophies no one requested, debt like a subscription box, charm that could sell soup to people allergic to liquids, attention span of a gnat with espresso. He'd promise a business plan and deliver a hoodie. He once launched a vintage shop on Instagram stocked entirely with my jackets. I did calendars and warranties. He did vibes and IOUs. Mom translated that as dreamer. I translated it as owes me $47 and a cordless drill. At the wake, everyone said he lit up rooms. Correct, like a power surge. Meanwhile, Dad hovered near the donation basket like a maitre d' for grief. Legacy fund, he whispered, already counting other people's sadness. We did the casket with no casket. Closed lid. Polite nods. A program with Archer's most photogenic smile and a QR code that fed an LLC I didn't recognize. It's a scholarship, Mom chirped. For whom? Legacy. Cool. Student named Legacy, last name Fund, routing number suspicious. Weird details sprouted. Mom asked if my life insurance paperwork was organized for emergencies, which is normal if you're a lawyer, less normal while labeling Tupperware meat adjacent. Dad developed a crush on envelopes. He whispered timeline like a mantra and started making bank runs like cardio for secrets. They began shopping for 3 again. Groceries for 2 plus Archer's snacks. Comfort food, Mom said, dropping his brand of chips like offerings. I stared at the bag like it owed me an explanation. The cat sat by the back door at night, tail flicking at the vent, like the vent owed him rent. Brains make ghosts out of drafts, I told myself. I funded the emptiness. Casket rental, flowers, the Dove release that downgraded to pigeons in crisis. I signed receipts while Dad murmured about policy payouts the way some men talk about golf. Process takes time, he said, eyes sliding toward my kitchen like it had a credit line. Sleep turned feral. Motion alerts became my religion. Every ping at night asked, are we done? The Ring app tried to sell me advanced features. If you can detect lies, I'll buy 2. 2 weeks after the funeral, Mom's grief volume dropped. Her errands got cinematic. Long sleeves in July. Legacy Fund floated across posts like a yacht for small donations. I clicked at 2 a.m. and landed in a family LLC with Mom's initials wearing sunglasses. Dad asked about my spare room like sorrow needed accommodations. Just in case we visit more. Just in case is grief code for what's your Wi-Fi and where's your safe. So I started a petty little log. Dates, routes. Dad's muttered timelines, Mom's grocery hauls. The exact brand of Archer's pretzels that kept reappearing. I'm not a detective. I'm a receipts enthusiast. The kitchen ring caught whisper fights about policy payout and bookies. Duet I never ordered. Then the night grief blinked. I couldn't sleep. Cat on patrol. Phone face down. Thumb treacherous. The ring chimed at 3:17. I lifted the screen, expecting raccoons laundering bubble wrap. A hoodie. Left ankle hitch. The soccer injury he wore like a brand. The watch I'd bought him for his vintage me birthday. My back door key turning. My mother's urgent hush. Hurry. The fridge light opening like a stage cue. I paused the clip, exported the original, calculated the SHA-256 hash, and wrote it on a sticky. If it changes, we riot. I zoomed on the tiny lightning bolt tattoo on his thumb knuckle, the scar near his ear, the smug shoulder check he does before stealing leftovers. 14 tells. Also, the ambient hum of my cranky freezer. My accidental alibi. Doubt tried. Look-alike? Deepfake? Buddy, my mom's cardigan squeak is not in any model's training data. Also, the smart scale, they never logged out of pinged at 3:03 a.m. New user, 182 pounds. Welcome. Casper put on weight. The fear distilled into a clean anger that makes lists. I labeled a folder, no fresh lies. I backed up to cloud, then to a thumb drive named Banana Bread. I added a note, call bank fraud desk, call insurer SIU, call a lawyer who eats scams for lunch and uses lemon folders. I added another, buy extra camera, hide it in cereal. Cheerio-veillance. Classics matter. That was the minute the casket went hollow and the story started doing math out loud. Ring nightmare, 3:17 a.m. The phone buzzed and my ribcage tried to jailbreak. Motion detected. Backyard. The fisheye blinked awake. Moonlight doing bad watercolor. Deck wet like a nervous alibi. I tapped, expecting raccoons running a bubble wrap laundering ring. Hood up. Left ankle hitch. That dumb stainless watch catching a slice of porch light. Key turns my back door like it remembers me, but owes someone else rent. My house inhales. He steps straight to the fridge, because resurrection apparently is carved forward. The light hits his face and my brain blue screens. Then my mother ghosts in behind him. Grocery sack crinkle, voice tuned to whisper only. Hurry, like danger observes a curfew. Dad's silhouette in the hallway. Cash is under the sink, he says, timeline cosplaying a person. Pause. Zoom. Pause. Zoom tighter. Thumb knuckle lightning bolt. Scar by his ear. That tiny cowlick democracy never overruled. And the petty crown jewel. He checks the chrome on my toaster like it's a mirror that owes him a compliment. 14 tells. 15 if you count the way he steals leftovers like he's tipping himself. I scrub back and listen. Hinge creak, I never fixed. Mom's micro cough, the one her body does when her mouth is lying. Cat's offended chirp when someone disrespects the crisper. Original audio. Original sin. I export the clip, calculate the SHE256 hash, and write it on a sticky. If this file changes, I change religions. Doubt tries a last stand. Look-alike? Deepfake? Buddy, no model on Earth has my fridge's C minor hum mapped. Also, at 3:03 a.m., the Smart Scale app chirps. New user, 182 pounds. Welcome. Casper forgot he's translucent. I watch the timeline like it owes me tuition. 3:17 entry, 3:20 fridge raid, 3:24 dad's envelope cameo, 3:28 whisper fight about gear and policy, 3:31 exit, backgate, hood up, left ankle flourish. He leaves a shoe print with that same shredded edge I've been asking him to fix since the 201s. I screenshot the tread like I'm building a museum exhibit titled Evidence You Refuse to Tie. He moves to the sink, lifts the false bottom I installed for sponges and drama, pulls a zipper pouch with the reverence of a man greeting an ATM. Dad flinches on instinct, which is interesting because flinching and innocence rarely share an Uber. Mom says, Friday, the flowers. He says, gear isn't free. Dad hisses, lay low. Archer, mouthful of my noodles, then bring it. He kisses her cheek like the Dove rental didn't refund us in pigeons. Every 30 seconds I want to wake the world. Instead, I do petty forensics. I open a burner email, send the raw MP4 to a cloud folder labeled No Fresh Lies, primary and a backup labeled Banana Bread, dessert. I pull the ring's porch angle too, hash that, and tuck both into a drive that will someday make a prosecutor clap like a seal. Mom looks right at the vent. I look at the vent through the camera. We both decide to lie to each other later. Dad murmurs, policy's close. We move when it clears. Flowers, trip, move the plan. They've got code words with the creativity of a broken printer. I write them down anyway. My notes app looks like it's planning a heist and a bake sale. Zoom tighter on his hands. Old rope burn from the 200s yard project he made me finish. The watch band nick from the 201's thrift store flex. The tiny half moon on his thumbnail because he stress bites everything but accountability. My chest does the weird steady heart, shaky fingers combo that means adrenaline showed up in a suit and wants a meeting. The cat pads into frame, tail high, gives Archer a slow blink, then meows like, you owe me hazard pay. Archer grins. At my cat. At my cat. Ghost etiquette truly is dead. I scrub audio again and isolate the whisper about bookies. Dad hushes so hard his consonants lose their shoes. Mom says, "Not here." Archer laughs through Lomine and says, "It's already here." He's right. It's in my kitchen, standing on my rug, breathing my air, and turning my sink into a bank branch. I put my phone flat and breathe in counts. 4 in, 4 hold, 6 out. Then I get up, careful, like the carpet can take a statement, and pull the cereal box I swore I'd never open because oat dust is emotional. I carve a tiny eye into the O of O's, nest a button cam, and slide it back on the shelf. Cheerio-veillance, in case the sequel forgets its lines. I rewind once more to the back door. He turns to leave, hand on the knob, and I catch it. His weight shift to avoid the squeaky floorboard. The one he always dodged growing up so he could sneak out without waking Dad. My mouth says, "Of course," like a prayer with knives. Clip ends. Night regrows its silence. I sit on the edge of the bed and weaponize organization. Folder names get gym teacher energy. Timeline pressure. Envelope moments. Vent admissions. I type a readme for future me. If you're reading this at 9 a.m., hydrate, then call the bank's fraud desk, the insurer's SIU, and a lawyer who brings lemon folders to knife fights. Then I do the part that makes it real. I write one sentence in notes and don't delete it. Archer is alive, and my parents are feeding him cash in my kitchen. My thumb hovers over the backspace like denial wants a turn. It doesn't get one. At 3:46, I set my alarm for reasonable adult hours and lay back. The cat curls on the binder I haven't made yet like a furry notary. The house hums that same psi minor. Somewhere outside, the shoe print dries. Somewhere inside, the hash sits on a sticky note, smug as math. I stare at the ceiling and tell the toaster out loud, "Tomorrow, we set the table." The toaster does what it always does, reflects my face back, stainless and unforgiving. Perfect witness. The grief audit. Everyone's acting suspicious. Morning made the clip feel like a prank the dark pulled, so I tested reality with coffee that tasted like paperwork. Then I opened a fresh spiral and hired myself as internal affairs. Step 1 of the grief audit. Assume I'm not special, just organized. Step 2, treat every nice thing like a receipt with emotions. I started with the QR. That legacy fund page smiled scholarship, then routed straight into an LLC at my branch wearing Mom's initials and sunglasses. I screen recorded the whole cute scam, cursor slow on purpose, then exported with the ring's raw MP4 hashes stapled to the file notes like digital name tags. Judges love boring. I can do boring in glitter. Appointments multiplied. Mom's calendar got coded. Arrangements, church drop, bank, and her sleeves went long in July like she'd caught modesty or evidence. Dad discovered the religion of Manila, patting envelopes like pets and muttering timeline under his breath as if the bank goddess required chanting. I logged every route with times, gas station preferences, and the mysterious way they always forgot the reusable bags when cash was involved. Groceries got weird. Their pantry sprouted Archer's cereal, Archer's pretzels, Archer's energy drink that claims to help you see through failure. Comfort food for whom? I wrote for whom 3 times, which is a therapy word for I'm not being dramatic, I'm being precise. Trash Day gifted me a receipt for protein bars the ghost prefers and a gift card reload at 9:04 p.m. 2 blocks from my back gate. Cute alibi. Bad map. I called the bank's fraud desk with my customer service voice sharpened on betrayal. High protective flag on an account routing donations to a related LLC. Court order incoming. Sharon, bangs like a metronome, said, "Understood," and typed like justice wears acrylics. I asked for transaction alerts if a nickel sneezed. She delivered. Insurer SIU got a neat packet. Raw clips, Shai 556 hash values printed clean, timeline spreadsheet, and a selfie with today's paper because somewhere an adjuster still loves props. Their auto reply assigned a case number that looked like a raffle prize for consequences. I filed it under receipts, future court. Hello, Karma. At home, the cat sat by the vent like a tiny union rep, so I installed a pin mic and gave it a badge. Vent recorder, oh. The night delivered whispers. Friday the flowers, Dad breathed. We moved the plan, Mom answered. Archer, muffled doorway swagger. Gear's not cheap. I clipped 12 seconds, hashed it, wrote the values on a sticky, and hid the sticky in a lemon folder because I'm petty about color theory. Cousin Lena arrived with eyebrows set to audit. I showed her the 317 clip, the toaster mirror cameo, the Smart Scale's cheerful welcome, new user, 182 pounds. She didn't gasp. She said he'd absolutely weigh himself. then forwarded me a church email with the phrase impact update and an attachment titled wire split and timeline pressure. She whispered, "Don't read it alone." I didn't. We read it over banana bread like communion for the furious. It literally outlined, once funds hit 55/35/10. I circled it until the toner bled. Meanwhile, Dad started casing my house like grief needed guest privileges. "We might stay more, just in case." In case of what? Honesty? He tested my backdoor latch for safety. I asked which code. He said general code, which is also what he calls ethics. Every 30 minutes I checked the cereal cam. It caught Mom lifting my fake sponge tray and tucking a fresh envelope like she was feeding a shy animal. At 2:11 a.m., Archer's left ankle hitch wandered in, popped my Lome, and told my sink it was an ATM. I named the file Sync Withdrawal B, hashed, backed up to No Fresh Lies, primary, and copied to banana bread, dessert. I wrote chain of custody on a sticky and stuck it to the cat. He objected in C minor. I pulled utility logs because electricity will testify. Their porch light blinked at 8:38 and 9:12 on nights Dad swore traffic and Mom swore prayer group. I overlaid Uber receipts. Same driver, same window, blue mailbox landmark, tip that says I'm charming. Pattern drew itself like a confession with arrows. The processor hosting the QR got a calm compliance note. Public misrepresentation of charitable purpose. Routing to private LLC, exhibits attached. They replied, enhanced due diligence initiated, which is corporate for pause the parade. 10 minutes later, the donate button failed politely. Mom posted temporary hiccup, which I screen captured next to the order, placing a temporary restraining order on their fund. I laughed for 4 seconds, then filled my water bottle like discipline. I booked a lawyer who bills by eyebrow and brought lemon folders, hashes, the vent admissions, and the wire split email that read like a novice villain shopping list. He didn't smile. He said, "Good. Boring wins." We set alarms. Bank freeze, SIU hold, motion to impound, HDMI night at Neighborhood Watch. He added 2 more cams, a vent twin, and an outlet with opinions. I baked banana bread because hospitality is my blunt instrument. By dusk, the audit had a spine. QR, LLC, bank, porch lights, Uber, left ankle, vent whispers, envelopes, false bottom, smart scale, 182. Casper has mass. I labeled the binder haunting, but receipts. The cat slept on it like a furry judge. I set the toaster on the counter like a witness, and I made the list that would turn grief into paperwork. File, freeze, notify, HDMI, breathe, detective mode, petty, legal, efficient. By noon, I promoted myself from grief auditor to director of petty, legal, efficient. Pomodoro timer set. Justice got 25-minute sprints with snack breaks and spite. Sprint 1, evidence hygiene. I exported the Ring originals again, kitchen and porch. Checked timestamps against my router log, then generated fresh SHA 256 hashes. I printed the hexadecimal strings in 14-point font because judges have eyeballs too, and stapled them to a 1-page chain of custody sheet with date, device ID, file size, and who touched what. Me, once. Cat, spiritually. Toaster, visually. The numbers purred like a metronome for truth. Sprint 2. Cheerio-veillance install, phase 2. I moved the cereal box camera 2 inches left to catch the full sync cache and added a motion-triggered clip length because apparently my brother chews like he's fleeing. I named the profile Quiet Fury and set retention to forever or until banished by court order and a hug from a bailiff. Sprint 3, legal stack. I called the bank's fraud desk and my customer service voice sharpened on betrayal. High protective notation on an account routing donations into a related LLC. Court order inbound, Sharon said. Flag applied, like she'd been waiting for a good sport. I asked for alerts if a nickel sneezed. She approved, typed, and said, Godspeed, which is bank for, I hate this for you, but I love following rules. Insurer SIU got the glossy packet, raw files, hash printouts, smart scale screenshot, and a timeline so boring it became art. They replied with a case number and a request for a sworn statement. I wrote one that sounded like a grocery list wearing a tie. Who, where, when, hash, toaster. Attached exhibits, vent admissions, audio, WAV hash, porch code words, MP4 hash, smart scale, welcome, PNG hash, wire split email, EML, headers preserved. I added a cover note. Please maintain hold. Claimant is breathing and eating my leftovers. Sprint 4. Counsel. I met a lawyer whose blazer could slice bread and whose eyebrows bill hourly. He skimmed my binder, haunting, but receipts, tapped the hash page, nodded once like a judge learning to smile. We'll file a TTRO at 9, he said. Impound request, bank notice, insurer hold, and a polite flamethrower to the processor. He underlined polite. Beige wins. He drew me a courtroom coloring sheet. Chain, identity, motive, movement. We rehearsed the line I was allowed to say out loud. Public cameras, preserved metadata, consistent hashes. No adjectives. I can do boring with glitter. I promise to leave the glitter at home. Sprint 5. Processor ping. Compliance asked for clarifying documentation regarding charitable purpose. I sent the QR route, the LLC registration with mom's initials wearing sunglasses, and a short note. Represented as scholarship. Routing to private operating account. Solicitation within place of worship. Exhibits attached. Their warmer reply. Donate button suspended pending enhanced due diligence. Translation. Pause the parade. Collect the confetti. I mapped money like a heist we didn't audition for. Column A, donation date. B, deposit to LLC. C, hop to operations. D, ATM cash near my back gate. E, 317 kitchen cameo. Lines rhymed. I highlighted the rhyme scheme in petty yellow and named the sheet Flowers Trip Move the Plan because honesty deserves captions. 2 tiny wins arrived dressed as pings. 1, Uber support confirmed frequent pickup at the alley behind my fence on the exact nights mom claimed prayer group. 2, porch light logs from their smart switch exported to CSV, blink blink at 8:38 and 9:12 on code word nights. Electricity is neutral. I trust neutral. I staged the ambush with HDMI because community loves raccoons and justice loves screens. HOA meeting, angle coverage review, raccoon montage queued between exhibits A and B. I labeled a thumb drive karma.move and a backup named banana bread because in this house, carbs carry truth. Night reconnaissance, clean and quiet. Cheerio-veillance caught mom lifting the false bottom tray and tucking fresh bills. Vent admissions heard dad, Friday the flowers. Archer limped in, whispered, "Gear's not cheap." Then weighed himself again because ghosts like trends. 182. Congrats on the afterlife gains. I clipped, hashed, backed up thrice, and wrote both hash strings on a fresh sticky note that looked smug on my lemon folder. Lena texted a gift. Subject line. Wire split and timeline pressure. Attachment showing percentages like a wedding registry for crimes. We printed 3 copies and added them to the lemon folder under words that age poorly. She also forwarded a draft transition memo from Nico. As executor, I'll be leading the company. Adorable verb. My lawyer wrote, contempt appetizer in the margin. I ran one last integrity pass. Router logs matched ring timestamps. Camera EXIF intact. File hashes stable across copies. I photographed the sticky notes next to the drives like it was prom, and we were proud chaperones. I slipped everything into labeled sleeves. Video, audio, money, words, toaster, photos, do not laugh. Beige wins, but packaging can smirk. At 11:58, I set the Pomodoro to sleep and the alarms to war. Text to Sharon. Tro at 9 o'clock. Appreciate those flags. Text to SIU. Sworn statement queued. Maintaining hold? Maintained, they replied, clean as paper. I set a reminder to breathe during HDMI because breath is free and panic invoice is late. Before bed, I stood in the kitchen with the toaster witness and the cat notary. I said, tomorrow, we keep it boring. The house hummed C minor ascent. I slid the banana bread drive into its tin, patted the lemon folder like a pet, and let the clock do something it hadn't in weeks. Count forward without lying. Follow the money. Legacy fund. My foot. The QR smiled pastel grief and routed like a getaway car. Tap, scholarship. Tap the tiny I, mom's LLC at my branch. Same bank as my business, same routing family reunion. I screen recorded slow like a cooking demo for indictments, cursor hovering on each field so a judge could follow with a cup of tea and no patience. Donations landed in legacy fund, hopscotched into operations, then sashayed to cash. ATM near my back gate, 9:07 p.m. The hour hypocrisy wears slippers. I built the ballet in a spreadsheet because I find serenity in cells. Column A, gift date. B, deposit into LLC. C, transfer to operations. D, cash withdrawal. E, 317 kitchen appearance by my undead brother. It rhymed so clean it made iambic pentameter jealous. I color-coded petty, yellow for flowers, pink for trip, orange for move the plan. I called Sharon at the branch, protective flag already purring. She added a sneezes and nickels alert and promised escalation when my TTRO hit chambers. "You'll get a ping before their conscience," she said. I made her banana bread in my head. Processor compliance replied with their favorite lullaby. Enhanced due diligence initiated. Donate button suspended. Translation: Grandpa's memorial yacht don't sail today. Mom posted temporary hiccup. I screen capped that beside the processor freeze. Harmony in 2 screenshots and 1 eye roll. Then the perfect, stupid gift. Subject line: condolences, wire split. The vendor wrote, once funds hit, 55/35/10 split. Friday preferred, timing tight. I put my phone down and stared at toast like it could explain greed's grammar. Once funds hit. The audacity of inevitability. I printed it, highlighted the split like a perfume ad for felonies, and slid it under words that age poorly. Lena, my favorite cousin with stealth, found the eulogy budget. Line items: AV, nephew free, catering offset by donations, MISC to be reconciled post-transfer. Post-transfer. I circled post until the toner wanted a union. She also surfaced the draft transition memo. Nico anointing himself executor in Comic Sans confidence. We filed that under comedy, then contempt. Electricity kept confessing. Their porch lights did the blink-blink routine precisely before ATM withdrawals. Uber receipts pinned Archer's snack runs. Same driver, same hour, same blue mailbox landmark. I DM'd the driver with a classic lost item script. He replied, "He's a regular at the blue box." Regular is mildew for behavior. I traced the QR's merchant account like it owed me rent. Payout schedule set to daily. Threshold lowered the night after the funeral. Their processor log showed 6 disbursements to the LLC before the freeze. Sharon Cross matched the deposits and flagged each hop. She whispered, "Attempted $4,000 ACH to a debit card. Declined." I nearly crocheted her a medal. Insurer SIU got a money map appended to my sworn statement. QR route, LLC ownership, bank lands, processor freezes, and Archer's 317 withdrawals under my sink. I attached hashes for the clips because integrity wears hexadecimal. They replied, "Hold maintained. Investigator assigned." Good. Let him follow the breadcrumbs through my mother's Pinterest board of fraud. Dad's language stayed budget meeting theatrical. Friday the flowers. Saturday trip. Move the plan. I annotated their code like I was grading a lazy spy novel. Flowers equaled cash. Trip equaled Archer's limp to the back gate. Move the plan equaled try to pull money faster than ethics. My seriousness broke and leaked a snort. I prepped the bank package like a wedding folder for justice. Cover letter in beige. Suspected misrepresentation of charitable purpose. Routing to related party. Timeline aligned with cash withdrawals and nighttime visits by the allegedly deceased. Exhibits. QR route. LLC registry. Processor freeze email. Transaction list with red arrows. Porchlight CSV. Uber confirmations. And the 317 clips hash sheet clipped on top like a corsage. Sharon likes tidy. I deliver tidy with a side of menace. Then I played offense. Processor's compliance portal loves timestamps. I uploaded the wire split email, the budget's post-transfer line, and a side-by-side of the scholarship page and the LLC deposit dashboard. Caption: represented as public benefit. Routed to private entity. Donors misled. Request refunds on demand. They set a pipeline for voluntary reversals and started issuing refunds within hours. Donors messaged heart emoji relief. I replied with receipt emojis and a note. We're redirecting to an actual scholarship with oversight when I'm done fixing my family. The smart scale logged Archer again. 181.6 this time. A tiny arc and a graph titled, "My brother is a meme." I screenshotted the cheerful welcome banner and stapled it to the money map because comedy and math love each other. Finally, the pings aligned in a single hour. Attempted debit card siphon, declined. Donate button, frozen. SIU, hold confirm. Bank, flag. Active. Porch light, blink blink. Uber, blue mailbox. Archer, left ankle, low main, zipper pouch. Mom, hurry. Dad, lay low. My spine installed. I wrote one more calm sentence for the judge. The legacy fund is a siphon, not a scholarship. The documents don't lie, they rhyme. Then I closed the binder, labeled the tab, followed the money, and set it next to the banana bread tin like a centerpiece. Tomorrow, HDMI. Tonight, inventory my patience and set 2 alarms. One for court, one for egg timer petty. Lawyer up. Calm is expensive. The blazer arrived with eyebrows that invoice. He took one look at my binder. Haunting, but receipts. Tapped the Shaw 256 page like a priest blessing a spreadsheet and said, "Good. Judges love numbers. Feelings come last." Then he dragged a legal pad toward me like a placemat for consequences. "Game plan," he said, voice like a level tool. TT Troo at 9. Motion to impound everything that breathes paper. Notice to insurer SIU to maintain hold. Courtesy ping to the processor and the parish. Chain of custody stays boring. You do not rename files to something adorable. I slid him banana bread, dessert. He raised one eyebrow. Adorable works for carbs, not evidence. He drew boxes. Identity, motive, movement. Identity, 14 tells plus toaster reflection. Motive, legacy fund, LLC siphon, wire split email, movement, kitchen, vent, porch, Uber, porch light, CSV. He circled movement twice. Juries feel motion. Judges reward process. We serve both. He flipped to my hash printouts, checked the string length like a surgeon reading vitals, and stapled them to a chain sheet he labeled in all caps, "Boring wins." Your router logs match ring timestamps? Yes. EXIF present? Yes. Smart scale? I showed him 182 and the chipper welcome. He didn't smile. Dessert for cross, not entree. Cost? I asked. He shrugged with the compassion of a calculator. Calm is expensive. Panic costs more. Then he slid me a list titled "Do Not Ruin This." It read, no text to suspects, no porch confrontations, no dramatic reveals without HDMI. Call me before verbs. He dialed old priest energy. When you speak, public cameras, preserved metadata, consistent hashes, no adjectives. He pointed at my lemon folder. Leave glitter in the car. He scanned the wire split email, underlined timeline pressure, and drew a tiny noose. We'll file this under intent, not drama. He added my processor freeze to a tab named Relief Already Happening. Judges love when reality cooperates. He called the bank while I watched the cat judge his diction. Protective flags live? Sharon confirmed. She typed like gravity. He dictated the order number template, hung up, and said, "Sharon's a keeper." I said, "She's getting banana bread." He said, "That's legal strategy." He pinged SIU, sworn statement incoming, hash attachments ready, insured alive and petty. The investigator replied with a case number and a tone that sounded like vacation delayed. "Good," my lawyer murmured. "Let him be bored at you." He drafted the TTRO language with a pen that made tiny verdict noises. Immediate harm to operating accounts. Misrepresentation of charitable purpose. Attempted conversion. Impound the records. Nobody touches the toaster. I might have added the last part. He didn't object. He pulled out a schedule like a battle hymn. Tonight, HDMI, angle coverage review. You present like you're clarifying raccoon routes. We drop the line. Orders filed. Funds frozen. Records impounded. No gloating. I nodded. Tomorrow, file, impound, notice, processor, parish, bank. After, inventory trap with observers. If they bring a locksmith, even better. Locksmiths ask for signatures. We have the only signature that matters. He tapped 2 more cameras onto a post-it, vent twin and outlet eye, and slid me a USB labeled court copy, read only. Every officer in this process needs theirs. Make more than you think you need. Someone always spills coffee. He paused and finally looked at my face. You okay? I gestured at the toaster. We've been talking. He nodded like he's treated worse coping mechanisms. Breathing pattern? 4, 4, 6. Good. Breathe between exhibits. People mistake oxygen for swagger. He rehearsed the reveal beats with me. Identity markers, movement map, hash integrity, QR route, freeze notice, SIU hold, porch light CSV, Uber receipts, smart scale if opposing counsel gets cute. He pinched his nose. If anyone says deepfake, hand them the hash and your freezer hum. He underlined hum. Ambient signatures make liars wish they'd majored in physics. He packed my lemon folder, slid the banana bread drive back into its tin, and set a thumb on the toaster photo. This is ridiculous and useful. Keep it. It's a mirror that testifies. He stood, straightened the invoice eyebrows, and said the closest thing to encouragement I've ever paid for. You did the math. Now we file it. On his way out, he turned. One more rule. You don't confront your parents outside. Counsel. I laughed once, a sound like bubble wrap failing. I only confront appliances. He didn't laugh. Good. Appliances don't lie. People do. Paper wins. When the door shut, the house inhaled. I stacked 5 court binders labeled video, audio, money, words, chain, and tucked a 6th titled Petty under my arm like a lucky charm. I texted Sharon, Trial at 9. SIU, sworn statement uploaded. Processor, due diligence, exhibits attached. Parish, preservation request. Open, angle coverage review. Bring cookies. The cat head butted the lemon folder. The toaster reflected a man who looked like a witness and a threat. Calm is expensive. I paid in advance. Stakeout. Inside voices, outside consequences. I pretended normal, like it paid hourly. Dishwasher hum, inbox zeroing. The cat auditing my posture, while the house ran a quiet sting. Cheerio-veillance faced the sink cache. Vent recorder. Inhaled secrets. The outlet eye watched the back door with the patience of a librarian. My phone sat face down on the table, hashes tucked under its case like a spine. At 1:58 a.m., the porch sensor twitched. Cheerio-veillance woke first. Grainy edges, sink in soft shadow. Mom slid in frame. Cardigan zipped to her chin like she'd sworn an oath to pockets. She lifted my sponge false bottom and tucked an envelope so politely you'd think cash needed consent. Whisper, Friday, flowers. The mic caught it neat. My timestamp blinked approval. 2:03. Archer limped through the back door, hood down this time. The left ankle flourished like a signature he refuses to shorten. He scanned the ceiling. Vent, smoke detector, fake outlet. Paused at the toaster reflection. Smirked at himself. Then at the cat. Hey, Chairman, he whispered. The cat blinked like he'd unionized. Dad's silhouette hovered in the hall, the shape of a lecture, the sound of toner. Lay low, he said, consonants sanded down to anonymity. Archer popped the sink cache with one hand, lifted the pouch, tested the weight like a sommelier of bad choices, and nodded. Gear's not cheap, Mom hissed. Lower. He lowered. God's not buying crampons, he added into my kitchen, into my future exhibit. Cheerio-veillance dutifully pulled 30 seconds. I pressed save and felt the Shoush 25.6 hash slide into place like a lock catching. Vent recorder, a snag Dad's next line. Policy's close. We move when it clears. Flowers. Trip. Move the plan. The worst trio since the 197's polyester. Heavier footsteps. A cousin? No. Just Dad pacing a trench into my hall runner. Friday, flowers. Saturday, trip. Sunday, move the plan, he rehearsed, as if repetition could turn crime into calendar. Archer rifled my fridge, found a fork, ate my noodles like it was communion for dummies. He weighed himself, again, because of course the afterlife is data-driven. Smart scale chirped, 181.6 pounds. Welcome. I considered sending the app a fruit basket. As the door closed, the house exhaled. I logged the microbeats like a court reporter possessed by spite. 2:03 entry, 2:05 sync cache, 2:07 policy chat, 2:09 ATM audition with my Lome, 2:12 exit, left ankle grace note. I added a note for the hearing. Ghost etiquette does not include Tupperware. Across town, compliance yawned awake. The processor sent due diligence ongoing. Sharon pinged. Attempted $1,200 ACH to debit, declined. I added a banana emoji and promised her a loaf in my head. I tried sleep. My brain reran the scene with captions and a laugh track only I could hear. At 3:31, the porch cam caught the alley motion. A hood, a bounce, the blue mailbox landmark mirrored in the Uber driver's weary eyes. I pasted the ride timestamp into the sheet beneath porch light blink blink and wrote, in tiny font, electricity doesn't lie. Late morning, I stress organized verbs. HDMI deck, angle coverage, raccoons, then Exhibit A. I rehearsed lines in the mirror. Public cameras, preserved metadata, consistent hashes, no adjectives. The cat yawned, unimpressed. I practiced breathing on the beat. 4 in, 4 hold, 6 out. Toaster reflected back a person I almost recognized. Afternoon brought fresh sins wrapped in habit. Dad showed up with a leather portfolio and a face like a filing cabinet. He tapped my back door, testing security, and complimented my latch like we weren't litigating trust. Cheerio-veillance caught his neck vein pulsing when he found the sink empty. He whispered to the wood grain, Friday, as if the house would RSVP. At 6:12, Mom's phone buzzed. Donate button paused. Compliance's politest no. She stood in my kitchen, fingers wide on the envelope she couldn't feed, and whispered into the vent, It's getting loud. Vent recorder. A nodded. Wave file secure. Night again. 1:57. Archer slipped in solo, lighter on the ankle, heavier in the face. He didn't bother with code words. He went straight to the sink, lifted the tray, found nothing, and laughed. Not at the emptiness, at the idea of me catching up. Then he left a note in my head. When predators can't find food, they test the fence. He opened the fake outlet cover because he's not dumb, just wrong. He squinted, shrugged, put it back imperfectly. The camera saw, the hash will say hello in court, and palmed a magnet from my fridge with a botanical print like he needed a souvenir. The cat swatted his shoelace. Small justice. Still counts. 206. Mom returned. Envelope thinner, face tighter. Tomorrow, she said. After flowers. Archer nodded, a man in a play he wrote for himself. Dad's voice floated from the hall. We move when it clears. He couldn't stop saying it, like he believed repetition erased nouns. They left together. Hood up, cardigan tucked, envelope rehidden. Not here, my sink said. But the microphones were already fed. I sat at the table and named the file Flowers Trip Move the Plan. Stakeout. I hashed it, printed the hex like a benediction, and taped it to the lemon folder. Outside consequences kept shuffling their feet. Processor freeze held. Bank flags multiplied. SIU asked for the make and model of my ring, the firmware version, the router log snippet. I sent a clean index, files, hashes, dates, device IDs, no adjectives. At dawn, I put the HDMI cable in my tote like a sword I could swing without cutting anyone. Raccoons first, then resurrection. Angle down for faces. Public porches don't come with NDAs. Beige wins. Petty cheers. The cat head butted the lemon folder. The toaster reflected a witness with a plan. I picked up both, locked the back door, and told the quiet house, inside voices, outside consequences. The house hummed C minor and let me go. Prepping the bomb. Freezes, notices, holds. Morning looked like paperwork doing cardio. I walked into the branch with my lemon folder like it had diplomatic immunity. Sharon met me with the bangs of a woman who files thunder. Protective flags are live, she said. Legacy account, Associated LLC, any card-to-card drips. If a nickel sneezes, you'll hear it. I slid her banana bread from a sacramental Ziploc. She took it the way clerks accept truth. Next stop, insurer SIU. Sworn statement in hand, hashes stapled like rosary beads. I recorded the calm version. Public cameras, preserved metadata, consistent hashes, QR routing to private LLC, timeline aligned to withdrawals and 317 visits by the allegedly deceased. The agent asked 3 questions that proved she sleeps well, then said, hold maintained. I exhaled like a person who trusts beige. My lawyer texted, courthouse, 20. He filed the TTRO like a magician setting a silk on fire and pulling out an order. The judge's clerk stamped it with the soft thunk that makes fraud sweat. Temporary restraining order granted. Impound all records. Notice to insurer to maintain hold. Prohibition on disposing of business assets. We stepped into the hallway where Hope wore fluorescent lights. He pinged the bank's legal inbox with the PDF and the subject line. Enforce immediately. We swung by the processor's compliance office because momentum is a vitamin. Cardigan Authority scanned the exhibits, nodded twice, and said, donate button remains suspended. Enhanced due diligence ongoing. Translation. Your yacht is beached, and the lifeguard files memos. I left them the hash sheet, which they accepted like a relic. He drafted a litigation hold notice that could comfort a judge. Preserve all communications, devices, logs, invoices, access histories related to the legacy fund, policy filings, parish coordination, funeral home bookings, slideshow edits, and any materials referencing flowers, trip, or move the plan. He included service instructions for the funeral home, processor, parish, bank, and the family group inbox because sometimes discovery lives next to casserole links. I did deliveries like a brisk ghost. Funeral home first. Lobby lilies, laminate gravity. We've received a preservation request, the director said, already kind. She photocopied the prepaid contract and the card authorization ending in 1123. We'll refund when the court allows. I thanked her like a person who believes in receipts. Parish next. Father Louise looked wrecked and responsible at the same time. We moved Bible study for the slideshow run-through, he said, voice soft with embarrassment. I nodded, handed the hold, asked for emails and scheduling logs. He signed a short statement like he wanted the floor to forgive him. I said the floor accepts notarized apologies. Back in the car, my phone chorused. Sharon. Attempted ACH $2,800 to debit. Declined. Processor. Donor refund pipeline opened. SIU. Investigator assigned. Holu chair. Angle coverage confirmed for tonight. Can you bring cookies? I texted 3 thumbs up and 1 square of banana emoji. Logistics, feed me. We filed the impound motion with a packet thick enough to bruise. Attachments: raw video hashes, audio hashes, wire split email, budget post-transfer, QR route, LLC registry, porch light, CSV, Uber confirmations, notary conflict, slideshow timestamp. My lawyer said, surgical, and I felt my pulse install a hinge. Then the quiet violence. Notices. Courtesy letter to the probate judge, tone humble, exhibits attached, asking to stay estate actions pending review. Bank legal, freeze confirmed, court order on file, notify us of any access attempts. Processor, maintain suspension, preserve logs, notify donors of refund options. Parish and funeral home, preserve, no deletion, acknowledgement requested. Everyone replied within an hour. Fear makes people punctual. I sat in my driveway and scheduled one more hold for myself. Rule card on the dash. No solo confrontations. HDMI only. Counsel looped. Breathe between exhibits. I wrote it with a Sharpie that smelled like boundaries. By mid-afternoon, the TTRO rippled. Probate clerk emailed both sides. Hearing stayed. Refrain from estate actions. Nico's draft transition memo suddenly looked like a balloon with no helium. My phone rattled with unknowns. I let them go to a voicemail box named documentation. When I did check, Aunt's voice tried for honey and landed on panic. Sweetheart, there's been a misunderstanding. My lawyer forwarded it to admissions, soft. We sent the receiver motion for the LLC, paired with the processor freeze and bank flags like a duet no one requested. The phrase prevent dissipation sang. Even my spine hummed along. We CC'd ourselves. CC'd the future. CC'd anyone who enjoys clean edges. At dusk, I loaded the tote. HDMI, cookies, hash sheets, order copies, and a thumb drive named Karma. Mubered by Omave, with a backup called Banana Bread. The cat inspected the lemon folder, stamped it with whiskers, and blinked as if to say, go be boring. I locked the door, patted the toaster witness, and told the house, freeze is set, notice is out, holds holding. The house hummed, C minor approval. Time to put it on a screen and let the neighborhood breathe with me. The ambush. Neighborhood watch night. The HOA room smelled like coffee, dry erase, and optimism. Raccoon slides cued. HDMI warm. My tote sat under the chair like a polite shark. HOA guy tapped his clipboard. Angle coverage review, he chirped. Rachel dimmed the lights. The projector thunked alive. We opened with the crowd pleaser. Raccoons laundering bubble wrap behind Janet's recycling. Chuckles, murmurs, small town serotonin. I raised my hand, PTA polite. Could we pull Birch from 8:30 to 9:15? We've seen package theft patterns. Clipboard bobbed. Rachel's cursor hopped. Street cam first. My sedan gliding like it pays dues. Porch cam next, 8:41. Knock rhythm with my last name. Door opens. Doorway hug. Soft porch kiss with betrayal's confidence. A few gasps. One whispered, oh. Ha guy cleared his throat like it had bylaws. Let's keep comments to safety. Absolutely, I said, voice beige. Public porches don't come with NDAs. We're clarifying traffic. Rachel toggled the side yard angle. Shallow profile, navy hoodie, my navy hoodie, the slide inside. Porch light blink like Morse for stop. I kept it calm. Notice the route overlap between alley ingress and porch light triggers. On the back row, the retired judge tilted her glasses, eyes narrowing into admissibility. Door creaked open behind us. He walked in late to his own evidence, wearing a cap like a thought. His face drained printer cyan at the infinity tattoo on a 90-inch screen. That's not me, he said, which is every bad script's first line. Then your twin steals hoodies, I answered, still beige. Rachel, angled down for faces? She obliged. Pixels, obliged more. He pivoted to statesman mode. We shouldn't involve neighbors. Neighborhood safety meeting, I said, motioning to the raccoon on the next tab. We're reviewing patterns. Janet half raised a hand. Angle down was good. Rachel, consummate pro, froze on the kiss. HOA guy clutched his clipboard like flotation. Craig stood, gravel in his jaw. Lisa, he said, and the room's oxygen redistributed. I didn't look at her. I looked at the timeline. Tuesday, 8:41 on porch. Wednesday, alley ingress at 8:38. Friday, takeout at 9:02. Card receipts align. Porch light logs blink. Uber confirms blue mailbox landmark. I slid a printed timestamp across the table to the retired judge. She nodded once. Chain. He tried benevolence. She kissed me. Craig snorted. Try again. Comfort, he added quickly. She's been going through. And we saw the suitcases, I said, closing the door he wanted. Rachel, play the 6-second montage. She cued it. Monday doorway, Wednesday slide, Friday hoodie and bag, 6 seconds each. Enough to pin rhythm to public memory. HOAs love rhythm. Courts love it more. He tried the nuclear word. Deepfake. I lifted the hash sheet. Original MP4C. Sheet 256 hashes consistent across exports. Router logs match timestamps. Also, my freezer hum sings a C minor you can't model. The retired judge smiled without smiling. Ambient signatures travel well, she said. Clipboard tried to shepherd us back to raccoons. I nodded graciously. 2 sentences, and we're done. I pointed at the screen. Public cameras. Preserved metadata. Then I dropped the line my lawyer underlined. Temporary restraining order granted this morning. Funds frozen. Records impounded. Insurer SIU hold active. Chair legs squeaked like confessions. A murmur rolled. The sound community makes when its eyes adjust. He reached for my wrist out of habit. I stepped back. New muscle. Don't touch me during evidence. We can fix this, he whispered, pitching fruit brews soft. We won't, I said, clean as paper. Parenting app only. Pack a bag. Not the good towels. Hoppa guy squeaked. Motion to return to agenda? Laughter skittered. Relief found the corners. Seconded, I said, and handed Rachel the raccoon slide like a palate cleanser. As the room breathed again, Janet leaned over. Banana bread? I passed the plate down the aisle like the sacrament of boundaries. Rachel whispered, hash sheet? I slid her a copy for the file. Clerks love tidy. He hovered, damp around the eyes, mouthing please. I shook my head once. Craig, hands shaking, texted himself loudly. Lisa stared at her hands like they owed her back rent. The retired judge rose, cleared her throat. For those wondering about legality, she said, voice like a gavel wrapped in knit. Public-facing cameras with intact metadata are admissible if chains preserved. She tapped my sheet. Chains preserved. I thanked her with a nod. Beige wins. Evidence eats. We pivoted clean. Rachel clicked to raccoons. The projector hummed a kinder tone. Clipboard clapped at the wrong time. People laughed because laughing is cheaper than cortisol. Cookies circulated, the good kind with the salt flakes. My tote felt lighter. HOA guy rapped. Lock cars, aim cameras down, report suspicious patterns. He hesitated, then added, trust your porch lights. Bless him, we're learning. On the way out, neighbors did that thin smile people wear around half a story. I gave them the hash sheet smile, terra firm. At the door, Craig stopped me. You did it right, he said. You didn't yell. I wanted to, I said. He looked at Lisa, then at the floor. Same. In the parking lot, my phone buzzed. My lawyer, file now. I texted back a single word, done. Then I put the banana bread tin on the passenger seat, tucked the lemon folder under it like ballast, and breathed 4 in, 4 hold, 6 out. The house would hum C minor when I got home. Beige wins. Tonight, HDMI. Tomorrow, court. Fallout. Family PR meltdown. By sunrise, my phone sounded like a casserole dish cracking in a church kitchen. Mom posted a Notes app novella titled Miscommunication During Grief, with 3 white doves and exactly 0 nouns that could be subpoenaed. We were navigating a difficult moment, she wrote, and some footage has been misunderstood. The judge's order replied in PDF. Understood. Please stop touching things. Dad went analog with dignity cosplay. He commented on the HOA page under Rachel's raccoon thread. Family matter. Please respect privacy. Janet replied with a screenshot of him saying, policy's close, and a raccoon gif saluting with a baguette. Civic poetry. Archer tried a new word he didn't earn. Deepfake. I held up the hash sheet like a hall pass. SHA-256 isn't impressed by vibes. Also, my freezer hum in C minor did a tight 5 in the comments. Processor compliance emailed. Donate button remains suspended. Refunds available. I pinned the link and captioned it, redirecting generosity to a real scholarship after council audits. Replies came in soft and sharp. I suspected. I'm relieved. I still want to help. Just not your mom's sunglasses, LLC. I put my phone face down and let relief be a quiet animal. Sharon pinged. Attempted transfer $4,000. Declined. Manager notified. I sent her a loaf emoji and the line, you deserve better meetings. She replied with a banana and bring ID. The family group chat entered its theater phase. Aunt Cheryl, can we avoid spectacle? Cousin Nate, What is hash? Mom, sweethearts, please don't feed rumors. I dropped the TTRO like a meteor and wrote counsel only. Blue bubbles scattered like pigeons who finally read the sign. Lena texted me privately. Draft transition memo is now weird word art apology in Nico's outbox. She forwarded the subject, owning my part. The body. If anyone felt hurt, that was never the intention. I sent back the judge's line grief does not forge a notary and a heart so petty it squeaked. SIU called, voice like clean carpet. Hold maintained. Investigator scheduled for recorded interview. I gave them timestamps, hashes, and the vent WAV where my dad invents horticulture crime. Flowers. The agent hummed in approval I wanted to frame. By noon, Mom tried podcast-length contrition. As a mother, choices are complex. I posted a single sentence. Court orders protect the truth when grief forgets how. Beige wins. Her followers split into Team Candle and Team Calculator. Candle posted Bible verses. Calculator posted wire split. Dad attempted empathy in lowercase. Son. I replied with the parenting app link we'll be using for any communications that touch human feelings in the photo of the TTRO taped inside my door. He wrote, "We can talk man to man." I screenshotted that and filed it under men who think paper is optional. Processor began issuing refunds. Donors DM'd me like weather reports. I gave because Archer was kind to me sophomore year. I gave because funerals are expensive. I'm giving again, this time to the boring scholarship. I cried silently into a towel, then typed thank you with 2 spaces and no adjectives because sincerity doesn't need sparkles. The HOA page turned unexpectedly useful. Rachel pinned how to export ring with metadata above the raccoon montage. It collected hearts like coupons. The retired judge added a comment. Hashes are your friend. Someone asked if a freezer hum is admissible. She replied, you'd be surprised. My spine installed a new rung. PR whack-a-mole continued. Nico posted a gym selfie captioned growth. Craig commented, move out. Lisa changed her profile to a basil plant. The basil looked stressed. Funeral home director called to say refund initiated. Preservation hold acknowledged. She sounded sorry in a way that didn't ask me to fix it. We'll cooperate fully, she said. I told her I'd bring cookies to their legacy planning workshop when this is over. She laughed like she had decided to like me. Mom DM'd me a throwback photo. Archer on my shoulders, both of us sticky with county fair lemonade. Remember? She wrote. I do. I also remember you routing legacy to your LLC. I saved the photo, texted Lena a heart, and left my mother on red because boundaries are parenting for adults. News crawled in beige. Local daily. Probate court halts alleged scheme. Investigation ongoing. Commenters tried to thread. Needles with oven mitts. I didn't say a word. Courts, not comments. Beige again. By dinner time, the processor froze their merchant profile banner glam. The donate button blinked. No like it was exhausted. Mom posted a black square. The caption, love wins. Someone replied, so do orders, attaching the TTRO. I took one long breath and opened my notebook to a clean page titled Production Check. Hook, immediate conflict, timestamp, fridge light. Stakes, house, cat, toaster as witnesses. 30-second rule, twist, smart scale, wire split. Forensics, hashes, exif, router log, freezer hum. Humor beats, banana bread, Cheerio-veillance, toaster mirrored narcissism. Emotional spine, responsible child versus legacy LARP. CTA, later, abrupt, exact. I checked the year slip I made earlier, 199s, and fixed the card in my head to read 199s like a grown-up who knows how decades work. Then I texted my lawyer. We're ready to run the quiet victory lap. He wrote back, calm reads loud. I put the cat's bowl down, set the lemon folder by the door, and told the toaster we'll be boring forever. It reflected my face like a signature I can live with. Cleanup. Paper cuts and apologies. The insurer's letter landed like a polite piano. Claim suspended. SIU referral. Hold maintained. 3 lines. No adjectives. I read it twice, then taped the hash page beside it because math and beige make a good couple. Next, process servers did laps around my genealogy like marathoners who love affidavits. Mom and dad got conversion plus fraud papers. Archer got fraud with accessory to stupidity, spiritually attached. Their pet attorney drew a bar inquiry with all the warmth of a dental drill. We rerouted donations like water finding its right riverbed. Processor refunded every giver who asked. Then we built a real scholarship with guardrails, tools, tuition, therapy, boring on purpose. Application. Receipts required. Question 1. How will boring help? People answered with paragraphs that made my spine vote for humanity. I hosted a team stand-up on a whiteboard that smelled like a reset. New rule stack. 2 signatures. Clean logs. No heroes. We installed change logs, kill-switched old API keys, and made a religion called Answer Your Email. I put "We do boring things well" on the wall at eye level. The machinists clapped the way people clap for cake. Lena arrived with a lemon folder and the jawline of a compliance officer. "I documented the church DMs without touching anything," she said, sliding timestamps like playing cards. I put her on payroll under compliance and handed her a label maker. She teared up. "We're sentimental about different weapons." Mom left a voicemail that tried to hug me with passive voice. "We never meant." She meant it to trail off. I transcribed it, highlighted meant, and filed it under subtext, loud. Dad texted a paragraph that auditioned for nuance. Timelines, pressure, family. I replied with the TTRO PDF and a raccoon salute. He sent a period. That's growth on his chart. The funeral home mailed a refund with a sticky note. "We're sorry." I endorsed it to the scholarship fund and wrote, "For kids who learn too much," on the memo line. The director promised preserved footage and better brochures. I said pigeons in crisis deserve a footnote. She laughed in laminate. My lawyer stapled the bar complaint until the packet gained muscle. Defective diligence. Timeline pressure. Notary conflict. He slid it across like a plated entree. I signed with a hand that finally felt like it belonged to a person who sleeps. I took one afternoon to clean my house like it had opinions. The false bottom tray retired. The toaster kept its job. I labeled a bin after and fed it programs, cards, and the lemon folder duplicates I no longer needed to see at 2 a.m. The cat supervised, then sat on the bin like a notary with fur. I saw Dad on a park bench holding a financial paper upside down. He said, "We could have handled this in the family." I held up the scholarship deposit slip. "We did," I said, then walked away with my bandwidth intact. Donors got a message that sounded exactly like a receipt. Refunds processed. Fund relaunched. Oversight boring and real. Replies rolled in like weather. Light. Grateful. Done. Someone wrote, "I gave because I loved him. I'm giving again because I trust you." I put my phone face down, breathed 446, and let my nervous system unclench without asking permission. Processor compliance requested an affidavit. I sent a sworn statement that read like a user manual. Where to click, what to hash, why to breathe. The agent wrote back, clear and sufficient. Beige praise tastes like artisanal water. The bank's legal desk confirmed the LLC account freeze. Sharon emailed a screenshot of attempted transfer, declined, and accidentally added a banana emoji. I printed it on nice paper and slid it behind money. Final. This is my Louvre. I created a recovery calendar called Peace Ledger. Mondays refunds, Tuesdays vendor confirmations, Wednesdays policy checks, Fridays audit party with Lena's eyebrows. We celebrated micro wins with cookies and a shared swear jar labeled "For subtext emergencies only." The jar remained empty. Progress. Archer texted 4 apologies. The 4th had verbs. I lied. I want to make it right. I saved it in a folder named Maybe Useful Later. He asked to meet somewhere private. I sent the parenting app link. Boundaries are my new cardio. Before bed, I taped 2 truths to the fridge. Evidence beats feelings. Boring outlives drama. The house hummed C minor, like a lullaby with receipts. The toaster reflected my face without flinching. The cat climbed onto the binder marked done and fell asleep. Same. Court day. Orders that outlive excuses. Court smelled like pencil shavings and boundaries. My lawyer stacked our lemon folders like polite guillotines and whispered, "Breathe on the commas." The judge's eyebrows took the bench first. 2 hawks that don't chase drama. They staple it. Clerk called the case. My name sounded alive enough to invoice. We didn't bring speeches. We brought verbs. My lawyer opened with chain of custody. Public cameras, preserved metadata, consistent hashes. He set the hash sheet down like a metronome and let the hex do the talking. Router logs matched ring timestamps. EXIF intact. Freezer hum in C minor. Ambient signature, Your Honor. The judge's pen paused, not for flair, for friction. Identity next. 14 tells. Toaster reflection cameo. The thumb knuckle lightning bolt. Left ankle hitch. Watch Nick from the 201's thrift flex. He didn't say zombie. He said continuity of gate. Beige magic. Movement. Kitchen at 317. Vent whispers at 207. Porch angle at 331. Uber blue mailbox at 838. Porch light blink blink at 9:12. He slid the timeline like a placemat. Flowers, trip, move the plan, without winking. The judge nodded once, the legal version of heard. Motive, clean and boring. QR labeled Legacy Fund. Routing to Mom's LLC at my branch, processor freeze. Attempted ACH to a debit card, declined. He held up the email titled Condolences/Wire Split as if it were a grocery list for felonies. The judge read the subject twice. Slow, surgical. Defense tried the greatest hits. Misunderstanding during grief. The eyebrows perched higher. Grief does not produce a false notary, the judge said, and I felt the room exhale. Deepfake, they tried, because buzzwords save cowards. My lawyer handed up the hash sheet, the router logs, the versioning log, and said, ambient signatures propagate. The C minor freezer hum got its day in court. Beige applause. The funeral home director testified soft and exact. Prepaid by M. Albright, card ending in 1123. Slideshow uploaded days prior, run through scheduled before any passing. The parish produced the email moving Bible study for slideshow. The clerk underlined it in the record like it paid rent. Sharon from the bank wore bangs and certainty. Protective flags live. Attempted $4,000 and $2,800 ACH to debit, declined. Donation account frozen. She said flag like a lullaby. Processor's compliance manager followed. Cardigan authority confirming enhanced due diligence. Button suspended. Donor refunds pipeline open. Beige choir. SIU investigator spoke in rectangles. Claim hold maintained. Sworn statement received. Digital exhibits verified. He did not smile. Integrity rarely does. Dad took the stand and tried to borrow compassion from vowels. We were keeping payroll alive. My lawyer held up the money map and asked, which employee works under his sink at 317? Dad's throat clicked. We used code. The court reporter typed flowers and trip with unbothered wrists. Mom tried legacy, voice trembling in a key I used to translate as love. My lawyer tapped the LLC registry. Legacy routed to M. Albright, correct? A nod so tiny even pity missed it. Archer's counsel said, miscommunication. My lawyer said, left ankle hitch in smart scale. Welcome at 3:03. The judge did not grin, but the corners of justice adjusted. Closing was a grocery list. Forged documentation, misrepresentation to the court, attempted conversion of operating funds, donation diversion, and a coordinated plan spelled in emails using the phrase timeline pressure. He didn't say family. He said actors, beige bites. The judge read findings like a recipe with consequences. Forged death documentation, misrepresentation to the court, attempted conversion of business assets, donation diversion to a private LLC. She set the pen down, looked at me over the bench, and asked the only human question. Are you alive? Yes, Your Honor. Small laughter tried to sprout. Her eyebrows mowed it. Order. Tro confirmed. Records impounded. Notice to insurer to maintain hold. Prohibition on disposing or encumbering business assets. Receiver appointed over M. Albright LLC to prevent dissipation. Full damages, business interruption, security upgrades, refunds administration, plus attorney's fees and sanctions for bad faith filings. A punitive multiplier calibrated to sting in the 202s, not the 197s. Defense whispered, room to negotiate the apology. The judge replied, there's room to comply. The gavel didn't slam, it clicked. Precise. It sounded like a door locking behind an era. Outside, the hallway smelled like copier heat and second chances. My lawyer texted Sharon the order number. She wrote back a single checkmark and, accidentally, a banana. Processor's compliance pinged, receipts aligned, refunds continuing. SIU asked for an index. I sent them a read-only link labeled boring wins with hashes up front. Mom passed without meeting my eyes, clutching a program like it could absolve paper with grayscale. Dad opened his mouth. My lawyer raised a finger. Dad remembered advice he never took. Silence. Archer looked at the floor as if redemption were printed in wood grain. He started. I shook my head. Parenting app. He nodded like a sinker. Lena squeezed my arm once, a signal we invented in the 199s for still here. The retired judge neighbor ghosted by and whispered the sentence I'll frame. Orders outlive excuses. No trumpets. I walked outside into regular weather. Just sky, boring and honest. I breathed 4 in, 4 hold, 6 out, and texted the team one line. We won on paper. We win in practice by being boring. The toaster would approve. The house would hum C minor. Beige just turned viral. Payoff and moral. Peace, but papered. Peace didn't show up with doves. It clocked in with clipboards. The house stopped bracing. Locks clicked for entry, not suspense. I taped 2 rules beside the fire extinguisher. We do boring things well. Verify before vibes. Underneath, I added a sticky my therapist would frame. Beige is allowed to win. We rebuilt small on purpose. The shop ran like a metronome. 2 signatures, change logs, no heroes. Lena turned compliance into a sport. She killed a sneaky vendor bank update with 1 email and wrote a post-it sermon. Ask, then act. The machinists applauded like people who've seen glue fail. Routines started trusting themselves again. Alarms at 7, lunch at 12, audits on Fridays, a cookie after accuracy. The cookie jar said petty rewards. We ate out of it responsibly. Donors got receipts that didn't perform. Refunds went out, then in again to a scholarship that buys tools, credits, and therapy. Boring on purpose, verified on paper. Someone wrote, "Thank you for making trust look like paperwork." I printed it on regular paper, not glossy. Glossy thinks it's a memoir. Mom's apology existed only where it counts now, in the affidavit. No adjectives, just verbs that cost money. Dad tried memory lane. I gave him the parenting app and a schedule. Archer's texts finally learned verbs. I filed the 4th one. I took, I lied, I want to repair, in a folder named Maybe Useful Later, and kept the door labeled Not Today locked. I started hearing seconds again. Porch latch, kettle sigh, cat thump onto the binder labeled Done. The freezer hum in C minor got demoted from evidence to lullaby. I retired the false bottom sponge tray. The toaster kept its job. It reflects a person I recognize, which is useful if I backslide into chaos. Community learned too. The HOA pinned export ring with metadata over raccoons. The retired judge neighbor became a folk hero who says chain and means mercy. At the parish, Father Louise reads emails twice. The funeral home runs a legacy planning workshop that should hand out capes to admin staff. Sharon at the bank gets banana bread like a tithe. Paper taught me a petty kindness. I stopped asking people to be different and started asking documents to be clear. In meetings, I say verbs first. We will file. We will audit. We will refund. We will nap. Nobody applauds. Everybody breathes. On Sundays, I label drawers for future me. Receipts, warranties, light bulbs, gossip, blank. The cat sleeps on peace ledger like a furry notary. I make pancakes that don't audition. We eat them under a sign the team made as a joke, and I kept because it landed. Attempted scam. We declined. The moral isn't cinematic. It's this. Peace is paperwork that outlasts moods. It's hex on a hash sheet. It's a scholarship that sends receipts. It's a ring export with intact EXIF. It's a Vint WAV in a lemon folder and a court order taped inside a door. It's saying no to theatrics and yes to the form. It's choosing boring before things explode. We kept the house. We kept the cat. We kept the toaster that saw too much. We kept a business where the loudest sound is a compressor with maintenance dates. And when my nervous system tries to curate, I open the binder titled Orders That Outlive Excuses, touch the tab called Done, and let beige be beautiful. The front door clicked soft, order taped inside, the scholarship receipt under a magnet, and the cat asleep on a binder like a furry seal on Calm. If evidence-powered karma is your love language, subscribe. Watch the next story where a prenup clause flips a wedding in 45 seconds and the cake chooses violence. Drop your verdict below. Who still gets a seat at your table after the paperwork clears?